I didn't know if it was a parade or what. And then once I seen them start breaking cop car windows and the cop car caught on fire, I was like, yo, this is no joke.
There is still a law enforcement presence out here tonight, but many of them have already left. They've reopened Peachtree Street here in downtown Atlanta. The police car that was towed away, but again, the evidence of what happened here still here tonight, even though the bank across the street has already been boarded up. We're of course going to be learning more over the coming days and hours, but for now, live in downtown Atlanta tonight, Tyler Fingert, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, Tyler, good news here. No first responders were injured, and no.
That's terrorism. That is 100% terrorism. There is no way to put it. That is terrorism. And I am live now on Mind of Jamal, Black Southerner. So I'm live there. Sorry, everybody. Mind of Jamal, Black Southerner. Just been balancing everything, getting it done. Just saw that I am live over here. It just literally told me I was alive. I was live. Something's going funny. Let me see what the heck. Excellent connection. What the world? This better not be. It's public. What the heck is going on? Okay, people can see me. Something freaky is going on over here. Wow. There I go. All right, everybody. Everything is good now. Everything is good. Everything is good now. Hello, Miss Tammy, Eddie, North Carolina. I see Shane, Terry, Taman 621, Lisa Pretty. Yeah, we back. This is the type of crap that white liberals have started. This is not the America of 40 years ago. If this was America 40 years ago, they wouldn't have did anything like this. Let me go back. You see this right here? 40 years ago, this wouldn't be happening. 40 years ago, they wouldn't be up here tearing and burning down cop cars. This wouldn't have been happening 40 years. This wouldn't have happened 30 years ago, because them good old boys would have been out there with them shotguns. Them good old boys would have been out there ready for something. I'm going to be honest with you. Even the South has changed. Even the South has changed. Even the South has gotten more sensitive. Even the South has changed dramatically. 30 years ago, you got a violent group marching with masks on, talking about burning stuff. Those good old boys would have met them in the street. And it wouldn't have been pretty. America needs to go back to what we were. We're losing this nation because the people who would defend it and die for it don't see this nation worth defending and dying for anymore. Let's go on and tell the truth here. Liberals have broken Americans. They broke us. It took them 20 years. 20 years to totally break Americans. We're so worried about these little purple-haired, big, fat, unsexable lesbians. A bunch of soy boy, sweet meat men that we won't stand up against it. We allow people, let's tell the truth, people allow their children and grandchildren to run wild because they felt that was love. All these, you see this right here? You see this car on fire that Antifa did that? That's somebody's grandchild. That is somebody's niece and nephew that they love so much. And they're willing to forgive them because we all been young one time. That has to be the dumbest thing I have ever heard. People have turned scripture and used it against the people who know it. The people who don't go to church, the people who won't go to Bible study, the people who don't go to Sunday school, the people who don't pay no tithes, the people who won't go to church are telling the people who do go to church how they supposed to believe, how they supposed to act. And the reason why, because there's some of y'all grandchildren and some of y'all children. You love your children and grandchildren more than you love God. And don't say you don't. Because so many of you have said, my child, turned their back on me, blah, blah, blah. There is no way. If you put the fear of God in your child when they were young, they gonna dare walk up to you and tell you, you can be 65 and they 45. There ain't no way they gonna tell you you can't see your children, your grandchildren, because of who you voted for. Well, it's other ways of discipline children without physical contact. Let me tell you something right now. Go sit in that corner ain't gonna scare you. When I slap you and you slide in that corner, that's gonna scare you. You don't have to. Let me tell you something right now. Ain't nobody above a hind part whooping. I want to say something else, but it's Sunday. Ain't nobody above an hind part whooping. If you a mother, you need to establish your dominance over your daughter immediately. When you slap her down to the floor and you let her know, I'm your mother. You do that young so she'll remember, hold up, mama slapped me down to the floor one time before. Well, I just couldn't imagine doing that. That's why your child is bullying you today. That's why these little white kids out here are out here doing crap like this, because I'm going to tell you something. I'm 47 years old. I'll be 48. White folk, country white folk, used to beat their kids like black folk. Let me say that one more time. Country white folk used to beat their kids just like black folk. Them white men won't putting up with that stuff. You didn't come in that house and tell him what you gonna do in his house. It don't matter if it was a single wide trailer or a double wide trailer. The man of that house won't plan it. He may had a pickup truck. It may been rusting, but you know what? You respected him. See, the problem is we done told these kids, and we've been telling these kids for the last 20 years that you need something to respect me. No, respect ain't your choice. You gonna do it. Regardless if I give you something to respect, you better not open that up out of your mouth. Whenever they start telling young kids, well, if you the same respect he give you, you give them. You just don't respect every adult. That thinking right now, that right there got us in this mess. The reason why we got Antifa is because parents didn't let their children know you got a place and you need to get in it. Will I slap my daughter? Already done did it. She talked sideways out the mouth. She only need to do it one time. She ain't never did it since. Well, I just couldn't imagine hitting my child. That's why your child run you. And the only reason why you say you and your child got a good relationship, because you ain't did nothing that your child don't like. Step out of line with your child. Bet you'll find out how much respect you got for him. How much respect they got for you. There are so many parents right now today that are so scared to lose their children's communication, their children's love. If you a good parent, your child will say they hate you. Your child will say you don't love them. Your child will go to sleep. Daddy don't love me. Mama don't love me. Because you done had to tear their hind part up. You done had to tell them what you ain't gonna have and what they ain't gonna do, regardless of how they want to do it. Well, every time I go to whoop my children, they grandmama step in or they granddaddy step in and say, I remember when you used to do the exact same thing. My mama is sleeping in her grave waiting for the Lord to call her home. My daddy is sleeping in the grave waiting for the Lord to call him home. My kids' grandparents are my wife's parents. They're the only living set they have. and they know I will beat my kids right in front of them. And then I say, if you run over there and try to get hugged, I'm going to beat you again. I was raised in the 70s, early 80s. Where you think the term, when a white person told you back then, my daddy gonna take me to the woodshed, that mean that white man about to light your hind part up. When that white man sat there and said, we gonna have us a conversation behind the house, that means, John, you about to get lit up. See, the reason why you got this mess right here, because so many of these kids believe because they got a college degree, they smarter than their parents, and they're better than their parents. Let me say that again. So many of these people who got you see doing this fire, they believe because they're smarter than their parents, they believe they're better than their parents. Haven't you noticed Antifa all have a same exact look? So when we're saying they have feminized black men, they're coming after white men as well. White men need to start speaking up for themselves. Start speaking up and say what you is and what you ain't gonna take, regardless who like it. I got some stuff to show you guys tonight that's gonna make you sick to your stomach. But this Atlanta stuff, all this could have been stopped if 12 citizens went out there with guns. If 12 citizens went out there with shotguns, they could have stopped it. Oh yes, I'm looking at Rapper 10,000. He over there on Rumble. Rapper 10,000 said on Rumble, Jamal, speaking of feminizing black men, that Velma show is a current prime example of that. That is so true. That is so true. But why? Because they have willing participants. I get so sick and tired of seeing some liberal suburban white kid telling people how oppressed and evil white folk is, how racist and systematic they're there to fight racism and systematic white supremacy. That's when their parents need to kick them out on the street, because the reason why they're able to talk like that is because of their parents' hard work. Not because of white supremacy, but because of their. I wish oh Lord Jesus, I'm waiting. If I live to see, my daughter's 9 years old, 9 more years, that's 56 years old. If God put breath in my body and I am 56 years old, when my oldest daughter go to college, she going with long pretty hair. If she come home with it cut and different colors, it ain't gonna turn out right in this house when she walked through that door. It ain't gonna turn out right. Nope. And if she bring one of her friends with her, who want to talk about, oh my God, Jendaya, I did not realize your daddy had that racist flag. He has a Confederate flag. All I got to hear my daughter say, you have to forgive him. Both of them gonna go sliding across the floor. I'm gonna put some baby powder on my hand, and I'm gonna tell my baby, you done forgot who house this is. My wife just gonna walk upstairs and shut the door, cause she ain't gonna want to hear, Mama, help me. But my child is smart enough to know, I ain't gonna do nothing that stupid. My daddy beat me for eating a crayon, so I already know what he'll do. I caught her eating a blue crayon. I lit her high parts up. My oldest daughter tell you that's the blue crayon moment. She tell my youngest daughter, oh, you just had a slight taste of daddy, but you ain't never had the blue crayon moment. My daughter remember this to this day. My youngest daughter, oh yeah. She like, I'm not gonna try daddy. I go off yours. But I want to show y'all what's wrong, why you got Antifa. This is why you got Antifa.
If you need a family, you can come hang out with me. They may not
Crazy
see
right
the
here.
real you.
I'm willing to bet you he was told he had white privilege and white supremacy and he need to worry about minorities and all this crap. Look at him. Look at him. This is it right here. Look at him. Every time somebody tell their child about white supremacy and the struggles of minority, you get this right here. This is what you get.
But that does not mean that you're not.
He's
real.
not a threat to feminazis. Nope.
Love you very much.
He's not a threat to feminazis. He's not a threat. This is what
cry.
they want.
With love.
Now let me ask you a question. Everybody who said rebel flags, Confederate flags was racism, white supremacy, I bet you wish you never took yours down. This is what you produced because you didn't speak up. Look at this. And he'll be a member of Antifa. That's a member of Antifa right there. I'm sorry, Miss Debbie. It's freaking you out. I know. You right, Eddie. Hess would have rolled 40 years ago. Yes, that's with the 5 o'clock shadow. Oh, Jesus on the motorbike. This man is crazy. And he wants to teach your children. He wants to teach your children. He wants to teach your little boys. He want to help teach your little boys how to be men. Yeah. That's what this is. And this is why. But this is why. Happy Sunday, Jamal. God bless. Well, thank you for the super chat, Miss Betty Boat. Miss Betty Boot just sent me a super chat on YouTube. I thank you for the super chat on YouTube. Let me check Rumble. Make sure ain't none there. All right. But they did arrest people. They did actually do some arrest, which is good. Now, will the prosecutor prosecute?
The clock hour, we want to get you to some breaking news happening right now. Protesters have taken over downtown Atlanta, upset after a deadly shooting near a future Atlanta police training facility. Thanks so much for joining us. A very active 6 o'clock hour here. I'm Eric Perry. An activist protesting what some call Cop City was killed in a raid and state trooper was injured. Demonstrators taking underground Atlanta to honor their friend killed, and they're protesting building the facility. Fox 5's Tyler Fingert live downtown. Okay, Tyler, within the last 10 minutes, we saw flashbangs. We saw windows burst. What are you seeing there now? Very active there.
Yeah, hey Eric, good evening to you. Very active, as you said. If you take a look down the street, we're pushing in. That is the group of protesters who are marching on Peachtree Street in downtown Atlanta. They've been setting off fireworks. They've also been vehicles and police cars. If you follow me over here, this is an APD vehicle that has windows smashed, multiple windows destroyed on this vehicle. They set off fireworks here, and if you'll take a look behind me over here, you'll see more driving. It does to try to calm the situation.
That's the video.
For the most part, they have let the protesters just march through the streets. They are, again, setting off more fireworks right now. This was a very largely peaceful protest at Underground Atlanta. As they started the march, that's when things started to take a little bit of a turn. And if my photographer turns to his left real quick, you'll see there's some APD officers who have helmets on as well, as they're now going to try to, I guess, end this protest. All of this, the result of what happened on Wednesday.
Now let me ask y'all a question. Don't the dude on TV sound like he got some sugar in his gas tank? I'm just saying. Don't the dude who is talking, the reporter, doesn't it sound like he's sweeter than a 40-pound bag of sugar on a 50-gallon drum of honey? Selling on a ship full of molasses. I'm just asking, don't he sound funnier than a man sweeter than a 10-pound bag of sugar? Oh, he sound like he got all high-octane sugar all in his gas tank. Busted Beat said, thank God for gutsy people standing up for pro-life. Yes. But this man, I mean, he sounds sweet. Ooh, you can hear that twang. You can hear that in his voice. And the black dude sound just as sweet too. He ain't none of them got no bass in the voice. Where are the men with the bass? I know I ain't got that much bass, but daggone, my voice ain't sounding like that. I mean, dude, they sound straight sweet. I ain't trying to say he gay, but he'll hold a penis in his mouth till a gay one get there.
Wednesday in over at the future site of the Atlanta Police Training Facility over in DeKalb County. Lots of different situations unfolding now as a result of that, resulted in the death of a... Hey, can you guys hear us? State trooper was injured in a shooting, and if you're taking a look at video now, I can hear it in my ear. That is just some of the moments that you could see that protesters were throwing bricks at what I believe to be the Atlanta Police Foundation. Oh, hey, turn around. Can we come back? Someone actually, it looks like one of the Atlanta police
Wow.
They're saying
Yeah, well, I mean,
back up their claims.
right. Well, I mean, I'll be frank about it. The police lie. They've lied, time and time again. So I think,
Perfect example. There he go. The police lie. They lie for perfect examples. His daddy need to whoop him. Janet Bloodworth, that is so true. There was more damage and more insurrection done yesterday, last night, than what was did January the 6th.
we need transparency.
All right, of course, this
Okay.
is a breaking situation. Tyler, are you there? Can you hear us? I know a lot going on there. We want to make sure you're okay. What's going on behind you? Walk us through it.
Yeah, so as you can see, the Atlanta police officers trying to put out the fire of one of the police cars. I'm not sure how that fire got started, if it was set or if when all the damage was happening, but they're trying to put the vehicle out. It's one of the APD SUVs. A marked unit was set on fire, it appears, and now units are trying to put that out. And you just heard from a moment ago when we lost our service. We want to back up. We're going to back up here just because obviously we don't know if a vehicle, something could happen with that because the fire is getting worse. But right now, again, very active situation here the car is actually getting even going up in flames even more. The actual police officer was trying to put it out. We're at Andrew Young International and Peachtree Street in downtown Atlanta. I believe that, this is still downtown Atlanta. But they are now marching way up the street as they're moving further up north. Again, all these protesters are out here, or at least the initial demonstration, that's what they called it at 5 o'clock, was a demonstration after what happened on Wednesday at the Atlanta Police Training Program. Okay. That smoke taking over downtown Atlanta here from that police car that was on fire. It's like...
That is why the Second Amendment is needed. The people of Atlanta, the men of Georgia, should be ashamed. Thank you, many RLWTS stars and bars, Jamal. Thank you. Debbie Nelson says it's 2020 all over again. What is happening is people are being so intimidated by the Department of Justice, the FBI, that they're scared to get out and stop that. Where is Governor Kemp? Where is Governor Kemp? When he saw this going on, Governor Kemp should immediately got the National Guard right down there. The problem I have with this right here.
That car now, or that vehicle engulfed in flames. Do you want to come this way? Let's just get further away from this.
And Tyler, I know there's a lot happening behind you.
While
you're doing that, just kind of giving people who are just now joining us at the 6 o'clock hour. This was originally a protest.
Look at him. He looked just as sweet. I mean, look at him. He looked just as sweet. Bruh. Okay. Shane said, okay, hold on. My bad, Shane. I didn't look over there yet. I didn't look on PayPal. My bad, Shane. I want to... Ooh, okay. I want to thank Shane Terry. Shane Terry, thank you for your kindness and generosity and your donation to PayPal. And I want to thank Miss Melinda Peace. Miss Melinda Peace, thank you for your kindness and generosity through PayPal. Once again, Shane Terry and Miss Melinda Peace. Thank you. I mean, are there any more straight heterosexual men that they can put on television?
That was supposed to be for those against what has now been labeled by many as Cop City after we saw the shooting last week. And then they started at underground Atlanta, and you can just see downtown Atlanta. This is a Saturday night, a very busy street. You can see a lot of police activity happening right through here. This is a live look that we're taking you right now. You can see people running in opposite directions, and on the other side of that. Yeah, Tyler, go ahead.
I do want to... Yeah, we're far enough away. You'll see the officer right there with APD. He has what appears to be zip ties. We're not far enough down where we can't see if they've taken anyone into custody, but it did appear that they were ready to do that. We saw people spray painting "Stop Cop City." That is what protesters are call the proposed training facility at Entrenchment Creek Park. That before all of this happened, just to see what their kind of response was going to be today.
Miss Yvette Romick said, in honor of my grandgirls, Emily and Katie, she sent the super chat. Miss Yvette Romick, thank you for your kindness and generosity, your donation through super chat. Miss Yvette Romick sent the super chat. But do you see the state of America? Let's call it what it is. This is the state of America. And it don't look good. But dude looks sweet, though. I mean, he up there talking like, he up there saying, oh my goodness. Thank you. To heck with those protesters. But the people in Georgia like Kemp. The people in Georgia like Kemp. Francis Panderwood, there is a lot wrong with it. There is a lot wrong with it. You ain't gonna come here with that pro-gay mess. No. There's a lot wrong with it. That's what's wrong with society now. You got all these men who trying to be something else they ain't, and society's pushing them toward that because they're told masculinity is wrong. They're told being a strong white Christian male is wrong. They're told being a strong black Christian male is wrong. That's why they keep sitting up here putting on lipstick trying to be hello. That's the problem. You sound crazy with that. People need to live and let live. That's why we got drag queens trying to be teaching children. That's why we got the crap we got today. Drag queen story hour. We got people sitting up here trying to transition the children because people like you want to live and let live. No, there's no live and let live. That don't work. Those things don't work. Live and let live don't work. They've showed us that. What they were doing in the privacy of their bedroom, they've been trying to force on children and society to accept it or get banned. If you don't want to wear gay colors, they tell you shouldn't be allowed to play a sport. Now everybody got to wear a gay warm-up suit in order to play a sport. No. There's a lot wrong with that. Because what's wrong with that, they're forcing people to say there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot wrong with it. The same place in Georgia where those two men was molesting those two young boys. Let's go on and tell the truth right now. You had two gay activists that was making porn with two young black boys in the 3rd and 4th grade that they adopted. Where is Black Lives Matter? Where is the NAACP? Where is every black organization speaking out against? Because this isn't the first time this has happened. This isn't the second time this has happened. Let me put my Black Panther beret on real quick. Every time it seems to be, they keep throwing black children to these same-sex couples, and this keeps happening. How about the black community stand up and start telling these women to be responsible and tell the families to stand up and adopt their own children and stop having them being wards of the state? And worse, this happened in July, and we just hearing about it when? This happened in July. Townhall.com covered it. Fox News just talking about it. Like this just happened yesterday. Even Fox News admitted, yeah, this happened in July. Wow. The people that got the most power today, is the gay community. Because they can molest children and people will go bend over backwards not to connect them to the pedophilia or the child molestation. Whenever a gay couple is running child pornography and all that stuff, people will always try to go bend over backwards to say not all are like this. We're not trying to paint all gay people like this. Matter of fact, many of them won't even cover the story because they don't want to seem they're attacking the gay community instead of talking about the story and who did it. Jose Marquez said Madonna is sexually exposing her adopted African children. Madonna been crazy. And for everybody who tried to say critical race, and it's getting worse, critical race theory is real. It's going on in schools. Project Veritas did this story. And it's Georgia. Again, what is wrong with Georgia? This man is about to tell you right now that schools are buying critical race theory curriculums and they don't even know it. I disagree with and say they don't know it. I believe they do. I'm sorry, you ain't gonna tell me if you a principal and you're actually buying your curriculum. I thought teachers were supposed to come up with their own curriculums. But take a look at this. Get your kids out of public school.
If you don't say the word critical race theory, you can technically teach it.
And it's amazing how you've gotten
schools to purchase the curriculum, and they don't even know what's going on. I wish I'm a good salesman, but I'm also an evil salesman. Like, so bad.
So the public schools have the state funding, right?
They do.
So the state is basically paying for your curriculum without knowing what's in it. Does your curriculum have critical race theory in it?
Yep.
And the government doesn't know.
I want you to hear what he said. I am an evil salesman. He knows it. They don't care. Let me tell you something right now. Liberals love to mock the church. Do you know why they're going after children like they do? Do you know why they're trying to trans the children? Why they're having drag queen story hour? Because they love to go after the thing conservatives and Republicans love, which are children and God. Why do you think they like to call themselves Christians? Why do you think you keep saying so much, well, I'm a transgender and I'm a Christian and my God doesn't care about that? Yeah, your God don't, because your God is the God of the earth. Your God is the devil. But the God of the Holy Scriptures do care what you do. Look at this. And not ashamed to hide it.
They have no clue. And I'm like, this is good.
In order to make sure it's under the radar, how do you?
This is DEI work.
Schools in Georgia have your curriculum.
Two districts, actually. So, Cook County and then Cobb County.
Wait, your curriculum that is in the schools here in Georgia is just kindergarten?
It's one of just kindergarten, yeah. But
That's so cool. So your CRT stuff is
kindergarten. It's so good. It's like, he's like such an idiot. Like, his wife is a lot of stuff in education here. He's a former teacher.
What do you think she would do if she found out there's CRT?
Oh, I would get nailed.
What about these parents who might push back after getting it?
Who cares? Not part of the system. I'm not gonna lose my job over it. Worst is gonna happen, y'all gonna be upset. And I shared some knowledge. That's the worst is gonna happen.
This is how we handle things. When it gets sucked
In the school?
in the class.
So we've been sneaking things in the cracks.
The teacher gets things under the radar. The license is already gone, so what are you gonna do?
So do you teach in schools now?
I do. I still do, which is insane, right? Which is still insane.
James O'Keefe here in Fulton County, Georgia. Quentin Bostic, who holds a PhD from Georgia State, is a former literacy educator who had his teaching license revoked around 2017. Quentin now works as a project manager for the Teaching Lab with a $15 million budget dedicated to creating more equitable curriculums.
That's Georgia. That's Georgia. That's Georgia. Now you tell me right now the people of Georgia shouldn't be picking up the phone, calling Brian Kemp, telling him no. This is Georgia, y'all. Eddie, North Carolina says, but nobody will cause of that hate crime crowd. That I want you to see what happens when you're scared to approach someone and tell someone they're wrong because you don't want to be called a racist. Racist. This man is out here lying. This man is out here teaching with no license. Candace K, you know what? People like you who are upset and embarrassed about what's going on, the reason why they're trying to intimidate Republicans and parents and grandparents, because they don't want you to speak up. Miss Roxanne Ertman says, same, but I've got great grandchildren in the schools in Oklahoma. So those of us in the South, I'll be honest, y'all hear me talk about the South all the time, how I love the South, but this problem is growing in the South.
Bostic is now on his own selling curriculums he created to the state of Georgia. He admitted to having multiple private companies where he profits off the curriculums that he sells.
And it's amazing how you've gotten the schools to purchase a curriculum and they don't even know what's going on. I was a good salesman, but I'm also an evil salesman. Like, so bad. So the public schools have the state funding, right? They do. So the state is basically paying for your curriculum without knowing what's in it. How many schools in Georgia have your curriculum?
Two districts, actually. So, Cook County, and then Cobb County.
You make that profit, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Because the state pays for that.
Correct.
You know what? I got to admit, these people that go undercover for Project Veritas, I want you to hear what counties they're doing this in.
Two districts.
Fulton County, then Cobb County, Georgia. If you are from Georgia and you're on this live stream, if you are from Georgia and you are on this live stream, they should be hearing a phone call from you tomorrow. Hey, Brother Danny Manor. Sorry, guys, I keep nodding off. I need to go to bed. Well, thank you, Brother Danny Manor, for coming through. Long time no see, Brother Danny. But you know what, Miss Tammy? Even if it is counties that you say don't surprise you, you have a right to speak up. Call your representative. Call the House, the Senate. Call people and say, you have to stop it. You cannot trust liberals to police themselves. Liberals cannot police themselves. And does anybody care about the children anymore? Does anybody feel that children and the things that when it comes to children are more important? All of them sound sweet. Fire Mission said he sounds sweet too. All of them sound sweet. Atlanta, they say it's peach sweet. All of them in Atlanta sound peach sweet. But this is what they tell you need to stop worried about. This is what they tell you need to go on and focus on something else. Why are you so focused on that? You're focused on that because you recognize what's going on. You're focused on that because you recognize this ain't right. This is why, you know, when people say, why are you so worried? Why are you so worried about what people doing it? Because my child is getting affected by it. My society, my community is getting affected by it. As you can clearly see, yes, this does affect your community. Critical race theory. Long if you don't tell it and you don't mention it, they're by it. Right now, Kemp should have the Department of Education of Georgia with them in there. That superintendent should go down to Fulton County and Cobb County, Georgia, and go have conversations with them. Shut those schools down. Shut them down. We got drag queens all in the schools. We got crime and we got drugs. Things are so bad. Democrat mayors are starting to speak out. And you know what? Let's go on and tell the truth. A lot of people, I see you, Miss Linda Andrew. I see you, Miss Linda Andrew. How you doing? A lot of people don't realize the reason why things are this bad is because of the Democrat mayors. The same Democrat mayors now that are now all of a sudden complaining about fentanyl, now you complaining about crime, now you're doing that. Where were you doing that 2-3 years ago? Yes, I'm saying 2-3 years ago they should have been saying something. They saw the crime in the street. They had people dying in their districts. But this mayor right here this Democrat mayor out of West Virginia, now something has to be done instead of a year ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Fentanyl. Fentanyl is 100 times stronger than heroin, and as a result of that, it's just killing people. In Huntington from 2019, 20, and 21, we had 379 overdose deaths. 349 of them were as a result of fentanyl. Now,
that stuff ain't being flown in. That's coming over the border. I want to thank Z Crisp, I want to thank you for your kindness and generosity and your donation to the page on Rumble. Super Chat, Z Crisp says, I'll match Yvette Romick. Y'all, all let's go. Uh-oh. Z Crisp done issued a Super Chat challenge on Rumble. He said Miss Yvette Romick did 10, so he's going to do 10. Well, I thank you. Thank you, Z Crisp. And he's crying, right? Listen to him. They met with Joe Biden. We knew fentanyl was a problem when George Floyd died from it. Let me say this again. We knew fentanyl was a problem when George Floyd died from it. We knew fentanyl was coming across the borders. This is why President Trump wanted to build a wall. And yes, it would stop it. Because if you get off an airplane with all that fentanyl, you gonna get caught. They don't even try to ship. China don't ship fentanyl through airplanes. They ship it through the border. Because everybody knows our border is wide open in the South. He's about to admit it, but he's gonna back off. Listen to this.
149 as a result of fentanyl. I remember several years ago, then Senator Biden in the late 80s was speaking at Wake Forest University, and one of the things that he was saying is that we're having a proliferation of drugs being shipped into our country, and that is an act of war. Well, yesterday I heard one of my fellow mayors say something that just struck a chord with me, that fentanyl coming from China is a weapon of mass destruction. Is that there's enough that are coming in to our nation right now, coming through the border and other means, and how it's being.
You see that? He's not serious about stopping this. Coming through the border. Which border? It ain't coming from Canada. He ain't coming from Canada. Which border? Which border? Ain't talking about Canada. All right, everybody that's on Mind of Jamal Live. Mind of Jamal Live. Thank you guys for coming back out. But we're about to end the stream on Mind of Jamal Live. We're about to end the stream on Mind of Jamal Live. So please head over to either Rumble or YouTube, Mind of Jamal Black Southerner. Turning off now.